Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. Typically, when I go to this place, it's because I had a night after work, and boy, oh boy, did I. But we'll get into that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yam around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, yeah, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work. I found some shit to review for you. That is not really the case today. I knew that this was a thing, and I did specifically go to this location to get it. So, and it was after work and all that stuff, but... So what is it? Where did I go? Why did I need to go there after work? Well, folks, it happens to be the boom! It's from Dunkin. Can we get a thing for a thing? Ha 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 ha! Something like that. Or ha 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 ha! What is this? This is the Berry Burst Spark Duh. Got a little apostrophe D. Sparked energy drink. Basically, what it kind of amounts to is it's like one of their refresher juice things that they do, like tea, what the fuck ever. Cram it full of caffeine. They have two flavors. They have this one and a peach one. I've already reviewed the peach one, if you want to check that one out. It is also on my Dunkin reviews playlist. I've reviewed a bunch of stuff from Dunkin' Donuts, so I made up a whole playlist for it. This is the other flavor. I definitely needed a treat after work. Work was just, oh man, like pretty much from the time I got there to the time I ended, it was just me running my ass around, doing stuff for other people. Just, oh, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? And I like to help people. I like to help people. But when I have my own shit to do. But eventually, so I knew as soon as I got out of there, man, I'm going to Dunkin' or I'm going to someplace. I want to get something to take my mind off it. Let's give it a go, folks. Let's give it a go. Ooh. Okay. It's stronger than I thought it was going to be. The peach one was pretty strong, too, with the peach flavor. Go watch my review if you want, like, my full thoughts on it. But one of my big points of contention with that one was that the peach flavor was almost abrasive, especially because it felt like it was an artificial peach flavor. It wasn't, I took certain issues with that. But it was very flavorful. In this case, it's similar, but not as abrasive for me. And maybe that's just because I like the berry flavor a little bit more than the peach flavor. But yeah, it has a nice berry flavor. Definitely a mix of like some berry flavors. Some blueberry in there, I'm guessing. Maybe some pomegranate. I don't know exactly. There's definitely some blueberry in there, but I wouldn't say it's like a straight blueberry. It is definitely a berry blend, which makes sense. They're not calling it blueberry. They're just saying berry. But I like it. I think that for me, big part of the reason why I like this one more than the peach is, like I said, with the peach one, peach is one of those flavors where I like it. I think peach is a great flavor, but if you go too far with it, it really gets to a point where, like, I'm not a fan. With berry, that can be the case too, depending on where you go with it. But in this case, I think that even though it, definitely has something of an amped up flavor, it's focusing on the right parts of it that I'm a fan of. It's not too tart. It's sweet, but not too sweet. But it really is kind of emphasizing that fruitiness. And I like it. I also like the fact that, whereas with the peach one, you could taste that, like, caffeine, that, like, energy, thing that they're doing with it. You could kind of taste that more underneath the peach flavor. With this, You can still taste it a little bit, but I find it to be less so. Like the berry's doing a better job of covering up that energy mixture that they're using. But yeah, honestly, I really like this one. It's nice, it's refreshing, it's kind of the right mix of, a little bit sweet, a little bit tart, nice and fruity. It's probably almost certainly a, an artificial berry blend again. But again, it depends on what you do with it. And for me, I think that this actually really works. I think it's nice. I like the fact that they didn't go like distinct with the berry on it, because then it's like, well, you know, if you don't like blueberries, well, then it's not going to work for you. If you don't like, whatever kind of berry. In this case, it's a little bit more generic, but it still has personality. Because a lot of times berry blended stuff, it really does just have a generic berry taste. This one, you can get certain things from it. Again, I got like a blueberry, maybe a pomegranate kind of thing. There's probably at least one other thing swimming around in there. But it doesn't just taste like generic berry. It has some personality. It has some snap to it. I like it, man. I'm actually very fond of this. And as far as, the energy aspect is concerned, I'm sure it'll work in that regard. I forget exactly how much caffeine is in it, but it's a reasonable amount. It's nothing like super crazy, nothing that you're going to have to go over there and sue the company over for because you're an idiot. Poor Panera Bread. Came out with a nice product and idiots ruined it because they can't be fucked to read. But anyway, two questions have to be asked. Would I get this again? Would I recommend it? I'm going to go with yes and yes. I think for me, I would definitely get this again. I don't know that it would be a go-to for me at Dunkin. I have certain things that are kind of my go-tos, but I could see this one being in the occasional rotation, especially, if I knew that I had a crappy night at work and I knew that I still had a long day ahead of me, there might be something to grab. It's not too heavy, it's refreshing, and then, you do get the added caffeine. So I think for me it works really nicely. And if I'm recommending it, I would recommend this way over the peach. I think it just works better. It's going to depend on who you are and what you like, but I think this one overall has a broader base to work with, so it's easier for me to go over there and say, well, I would recommend this one over the other one, because with the peach one, you really have to like that peach, and you really have to like that specific peach flavor. This one, I think, not only does it just work better as a berry flavor, but like I said, I also think it does a good job of kind of masking that energy blend that they're using. So I really like it. But 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. Go over there, have yourselves a truly berry-tastic rest of your life. Because berries are good, man. You think about all these things, and it's one of those things where it's like, if you look into it, there's like all these things that like we think are berries, but then aren't actually berries, and then there's other things that we don't think are berries, but are technically berries. It's like, what? I get it, I understand that like back in them thar days, we were naming shit to name shit and using what we could. Man, oh man. I hope by like the year like 3,500, like we'll have sorted all this shit out and just been like, no, tomato is a fruit, and this is this, and this and this, and this is this, and watermelon is also by some happenstance a kangaroo, because math. Do you know that a rabbit is a sphere? Yeah, they proved that with math. I don't fucking understand it. That's why I hate math. Every now and again, it decides to be magic. Anyway, final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be really stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in those situations, it's important that we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I hope you do. Folks, I hope that for your sake, whatever you do for your occupation or whatever, that you are not pressed into situations where, you're having to scramble and do a million goddamn things. And to be fair, some people like that. Some people like that. I've talked with people, they're like, it makes the night go by faster. My brain does not work that way. Once my brain gets stressed out, it's in a bad way. And I can deal. Don't get me wrong, I can deal. But it's like, I'd much rather be bored than stressed. And I seem to be in the minority of that. A lot of people I talk to, they'd much rather run around and blah, blah, blah. So whatever your particular circumstances may be that you prefer in your occupation, I hope that that's what you're able to regularly, pace out and have to deal with. Because, ain't none of us getting out of here alive, folks. So at the very least, hopefully we can make it a little bit easier for ourselves. Bye!